Well, hey there, it's Brittany. From all of us here at Hill City, we want to wish you Happy New Year. Pastor Shanik is getting ready to come on and let us know some of the things that we as a family were able to be a part of in 2022 because of your faithfulness and your generosity. So let's hear from Pastor Shanik.
Hey, Hill City, Pastor Shanik here. I just wanted to take a few minutes to bring you some encouragement as we begin this new year. Can you believe it? 2023 is already here. Before I give a little encouragement about where we're headed, I do want to look back at 2022 just to highlight a few things that we were a part of. Many of you were with us, and throughout the year, we actually took 4 Sundays off from gathering in the building. One of those Sundays we gathered at Community Park down in New Albany. We had an amazing time there at actually Kevin Hammersmith Park, where we just gathered in the community as community. We welcomed other people into our family. It was an incredible time. We also had 3 of those Sundays where we partnered with local ministries and just offered to help them to be the hands and feet of Jesus. As a matter of fact, as I look back over the year and those opportunities to serve, we served over 300 man hours at those service projects. So 1, thank you. 2, we're going to be doing more of that in this coming year. And so I just want to say, would you just please make it a priority to come out to be the body of Christ? I'm telling you, on those service projects, you actually bond with the family here at Hill City. You create long-lasting relationships through those service opportunities. Also, we're going to do the Party in the Park again, and this is a great time for you to bring people, to invite people. And we, just as the family of Hill City, just get to have fun. I really think that we should be the most joyful people on the planet, people that follow Jesus, and I want to experience that fun with you. I also want to tell you, as we look back through 2022, we had amazing opportunities to give. We partner with over 10 different ministry organizations or missionaries or ministries that really convey our heart, and so we want to partner with them financially. Ministries like What Matters Most in Guatemala, J.T. Norman in the orphanages, in India, Jacob Joseph, who also has a school of music. In India, we have Sid Luke in Chile, we have Jamie Englehart, we have ARM, which is an apostolic covering ministry that goes out and really helps pastors establish thriving churches. There are so many other of those ministries that we help support Love City in the Portland neighborhood. And in 2022, this church, Hill City, we actually were able to invest, I'll say, and give over $150,000 directly to those ministry organizations. And that is because of you and your partnership of what God is doing, not just here, but all over the world. So I just want to say thank you so much. I also, real quick, want to put a plug in. Several weeks ago, Pastor Corey and I, we celebrated our 100th episode on Two Pastors and a Mic. If you haven't checked that resource out yet, this is the year. Start binge listening to those things. I promise you they will be a blessing to you, also challenging to you. You might listen to them and have more questions afterward, but that's okay. Questions are good. It helps you discover what you believe. It helps you reach out to other people, and together your faith begins to grow and you begin to mature. So I just believe that God is never done in working and moving in our lives. And so for 2023, even though we saw some incredible things happen this past year, I believe, and I will always believe, that the best is yet to come. And so I hope you're with me in that. I hope you believe that for your life as well, that the best is yet to come. But also, don't forget to enjoy where you are on the way to where you're going. So real quick, Corey is going to come on and he is going to encourage you around the word for this season and this year. I know you're going to be blessed. So let's welcome Pastor Corey.
Well, good morning, Hill City Church. Happy New Year. I know if you're just like me and you're watching live 10:30 a.m. on Sunday morning, January 1st, I'm actually not live. This is pre-recorded. I'm probably sitting on a couch next to my wife, sipping coffee, trying to watch this as the kids are going crazy in the basement while our newborn is probably crying right now. Julia, will you take care of that so that I can enjoy watching myself? Just kidding. If you're joining us this afternoon, this evening, sometime this week, or maybe you're just listening, I've got a brief word for you this morning to encourage you in 2023. In fact, I actually don't even have a word for 2023. I have a word for your life. The past month, through the month of December, we've been talking about embracing our season. We've been talking about redefining success and taking care of our soul. Ultimately, we've been talking about how to embrace life, how to wait well. In fact, it is New Year's Day, and one of the greatest lessons I've learned about waiting well comes from making bourbon. That's right. Arguably, some of the best bourbon in the world takes 23 years to make. There's a process there. When my parents come and visit me here in this Louisville area, I like to take them to bourbon distilleries. Why, you might ask? It's not because they like bourbon. In fact, my parents hate bourbon. But there's something about learning about a process and learning about something historically that you have no idea about. So I really enjoy learning about the process and history of bourbon. So the most recent bourbon distillery we went on was Stetzer Willard. We took them right down in Louisville, and it was really cool. They told a couple stories that I didn't know about. I don't know if they were even true stories, but one of the stories they shared was about Pappy Van Winkle. He used to keep his keys on the front of his door when he was inside his home. And what these keys represented was this idea that his house was always open. Whether he heard you knocking on the door or not, the keys were available for you to walk into his home and join him at his table. It symbolized hospitality. It symbolized relationship. It symbolized friendship. And as I was listening to this story, I was thinking, man, that sounds like that should be you and I, the church. We should be open. We should have people coming over into our house, doing life together, having friendship, seated at a shared table. I was inspired. In fact, as they continued the tour, they talked about one of their bourbons called Blade and Bow. Now, the crazy thing about Blade and Bow is they have these collector's items. If you're into this bourbon stuff, you might be like, collector's items? I like collector's items. You know, Blanton's does those horses representing the Kentucky Derby. Really cool collector's items. At Blade and Bow, they have these keys. Now, there's 5 of them, and the goal is to collect all 5. The 5 keys represent the 5 stages of making bourbon. You're like, Corey, why are we talking about bourbon on New Year's? Why are we even talking about bourbon in church? Is because the reality is, if there are 5 keys to making bourbon, I believe that there are 5 keys to a full life. And if you've been a part of Hill City Church over the last 4 years, you've heard Pastor Shanik and myself, Mikey, De'Eric, other people on the teaching team, you've heard them talk about these 5 keys to a full life, and they're simple. They're go slow, be curious, do less, love more, and stay satisfied. That's go slow, be curious, do less, love more, and stay satisfied. We can talk a lot about these, but this is what I want to really encourage you in this new year and really ultimately this life message of be somebody who goes slow, who embraces their season, who is where their feet are, who is present in relationships, present even with your family right now. We want to be people who are curious in learning, curious in people's life experiences, curious in how people grow and what they process and what they believe. We shouldn't be dogmatic human beings, especially within the Christian faith. More people would be interested in doing life with us if we were more curious about why people do the things they do and believe the things they believe. Are you willing to be curious in all aspects of life? The third one is doing less. This isn't about being lazy. It's about learning contentment. In fact, Paul told the church in Philippians, in Philippi, in the book of Philippians chapter 4, he talked about the secret of being content. And ultimately, what we're talking about, is the secret to being content. It's by going slow, being curious, doing less, loving more, and staying satisfied. And that fourth one, loving more, it's obvious. But it should be how people look at the church. People who aren't involved in the church should associate Christians as loving. Do they associate you as loving? And lastly, this piece on staying satisfied. This has been the biggest struggle for me personally because I found that in my life, I am constantly striving to achieve and accomplish things. And I'll even define my own personal success based on these accomplishments. And for me personally, it's not very healthy. I'm learning the secret of being content, and that's trying in every season to stay satisfied. Satisfied where I am on the way to where I'm going. So I hope that encourages you, the sweet, short message, not just for the year 2023, but for your life. Go slow. Be curious. Do less. Love more. And stay satisfied. Maybe the verse that you want to cling to for this year is Romans 12:12, where it says, "Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer." Church, we love you, we believe in you, and as always, you are loved, and there is nothing you can do about it.